Hi, it's Frank Versace with Versace Real Estate, and today we have another video market update of all the stats that's been going on in the Winnipeg real estate market. Stick around. All right, so let's jump into all the numbers. Now, first off, before we get started with the latest numbers, I do want to say and apologize that I didn't get a market video update out for last month, and that is because May, which was the last video market update that should have went out, was the busiest May in the history of the Winnipeg Real Estate Board, and it was for Versace Real Estate as well. So that kind of took our attention away from getting the last update out. However, I just will recap a couple of things with you. The May market was up about 13%, over $500 million in sales. That's $526 million in the month of May alone. And that was 1,705 units sold, which when you break that down is 55 sales per day. So that gives you an indication of how busy the month was. Again, May, busiest month on record. Let's turn our attention over to June now, which is this video market update for the stats that came out. And what you'll find is that overall for the month of June, the market was actually down about 1%. So May up 13%, best ever. June down just very slightly over last year, 1% down. That's 1,528 units sold this June. Last June, 1,547 units. Pretty well on par, just a very slight change. Overall, year to date, the market is still doing well. We are up 4% in total year to date, and that means we sold this year 6,823 units. Last year sold 6,568 properties. So that gives you an idea where we're still trending upwards. So that is a great sign. Let's take a look at the housing market versus the condo market. I'd like to break those two out, and so you get a real good feel for the way those independent markets work. For the housing market, things are a little bit down here. So for the month of June here, we were down about 4% for houses. In unit sales, that's the number of homes sold, which was 1,127 homes sold this June. Last June, 1,174 properties sold. So we're down about 4%. What about for sales volume? That is, you take all the properties sold, add up all the sales prices. What is the total amount sold this June? Again, we're down about 3% versus last June. So that is 377 million sold this June. Last June, 390 million sold. Let's take a look at condos. Now, condos, interestingly enough, the market was up for June. So condo unit sales were up about 4% this June over last June, with 173 units sold this June. Last year in June, 167 units sold. What about sales volume? Again, adding up all the condo prices and the total amount there. Again, we're up 4%. That's 42 million sold this year. Last year, 40 million. So it's a nice little sign for condo sales that things are on an uptick there. Like to take a look at days on market, DOM, language of real estate. Everybody wants to know how fast is it taking for properties to turn over. For the housing market, things are looking pretty good. 26 days to get a house sold here citywide. That's pretty good turnover. We're usually sitting around that 30, 32, 34. So certainly coming down, coming off a great May. Of course, now moving into the summer months, and 26 days is very respectable, under a month's time. For condos, we're seeing a little bit longer, so about 39 days, so just over a month's time. Again, for the condo market, that's about where we're expecting, sort of in that 40, 41, 42 is what we've seen in the past. So we're just a little bit slight faster than that at 39 days. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the highs and the lows of the market, because here in Winnipeg, it's very diverse. So on the very tippy top end of the market here, our luxury end market, we had a property that sold at the top end for $1.9 million. And on the very low end here, we had a property sell for $45,000. So that gives you a great indication for the spread in terms of the market and where you might see things moving for the top end and the bottom end. I want to cover off here. A lot of people like to know, Frank, what is happening with properties selling at list price, above list price, and below list price. So if you were to put your home on the market, what were the chances you'd get more or less for it, or get exactly what you want? And if you're a buyer, what are the chances you're going to buy it right at list price, or have to pay more, or get to buy it at a better deal for less? Let's take a look at those numbers here. For above market, we have 23% of the time home goes on the market. For the month of June, 23% of the time sold over the list price. What about at list price? House comes out. What are the chances as a buyer you're going to pay right their number? It's 8% of the time for the month of June. And what are the odds that you're going to get a better deal? You're going to pay below the list price. Or if you're a seller, what are the chances that you might get less than you're asking for? And in that case, it was 69% of the time. So there's good news mixed in there for everybody. Certainly if you're a seller, you want to come out of the gate with the right pricing, with the right marketing, with the right staging, with the right photography, with the right agent, and the great negotiation. And that's going to help you get at or above. And of course, if you play games with the market, ask for too much, don't make your house look as good as it can out of the gate, chances are 69% of the time you might get less than you're asking. But again, there's great news for both buyers and sellers in those numbers. Lastly, I want to talk about what type of market we are in. A lot of buyers and both sellers want to know exactly what type of market we're in so that they can prepare when they're either going to sell their home or they're going to look to buy a home. What I mean by that is we want to know, are we in a buyer's market? Are we in a seller's market? Or are we in a balanced market? So how do we determine that? The first thing we want to look at is what's called the absorption rate. So what the absorption rate tells us is if no new properties were to hit the market, how long would it take to clear out all the existing homes and existing condos right down to zero? So let's take a look at the housing market first. For houses, right now there's 3,216 active listings for sale that are houses. So if you're a buyer of homes, that's a great amount of inventory to go out and look for. Now, how long is it taking to get those cleared out down to zero? Well, if we look at the numbers for last month in June, we sold 1,127 properties, 1,127 houses. So the number is 3,216 available, 1,127 sold, and that means if they're clearing out at 1,127 per month, it's going to take 3 months approximately to clear out all that inventory. So how do we determine what type of market the housing market is in? Well, our trusty little chart will tell us that we are in a seller's market if it's going to take less than 3 months to clear out all the inventory. We're in a balanced market if it's somewhere between 3 to 5 months to clear out inventory. And we're in a buyer's market if it takes more than 5 months to clear out inventory. So with houses taking 3 months to clear out inventory, we're right in between that seller's market. We're at the tail end of a seller's market, at the beginning end of a balanced market. So I'd say we're right in between that seller's and balanced market, kind of leaning into the seller's market. What about for condos? Well, right now for condo selection, there's 961 available units for sale. And last June, we had 173 units sell. So if we take our 961, clear them out at 173 a month, that's going to take about 5.5 months to clear out all of those units if no new units come on the market. So again, with 5.5 months of inventory, that puts us right into a buyer's market. More than 5 months is a buyer's market. So we're just right at the beginning of a buyer's market. So there you have it, folks. All the numbers, all the stats. Certainly there's other things we could cover, and I would love to address any other issues or questions that you might have about the Winnipeg real estate market. Just either make a comment, send me an email, or shoot me a text or give me a call. I'd love to hear from any of you about what you would like to see in these videos, or if you have specific questions. Sometimes we go through different stats here in these videos, and I'd love to cover what's important to you. So again, if you have any real estate needs, either buying, selling, investing in real estate, here at Versace Real Estate, we've got a number of agents that are willing and excited to help you and your friends and your families, and any referrals that you might have of people that you know that are looking to buy, sell, or invest. It would most definitely be our pleasure to be of service and help you. Make it a great day and stay positive.